behind sign reads, "The Hollow Marshes," in knife-scratched cursive. You take a deep breath. You have escaped Fort Joy at last.
Well, blessings be. I am most grateful to have traded a sunny seaside for a dank swamp.
Out of the prison camp into the bog. You watch my back, I'll watch yours.
The walls we leave behind, and a wilderness awaits.
The cat purrs loudly as it curls its...
Thank you for freeing me from that awful place. The air is so much clearer here, wild and free, just like me. And I remember who I am now, a wizard's cat. But the spell-flinging stinker left me behind, without as much as a look over his shoulder. Bah! It's as if I never made myself a bed on his bony legs, or never chased away the mice that'd bite through his books. Oh, so he is. I guarded his library like a griffin would a princess's bedchamber, and look where it got me. I can still hear him now, the crusty old cad. We had us a cruise and 6 days in the sun, but grave duty calls, so I have to run. Too dangerous, my charge, for you, dear old boy. By leaving me stranded among those red robes with their prickly magic sticks, you mean? No, it's quite clear to me that you are much more worthy of an honest cat's company. You just call for me and I'll be there.
The serenity in the eye. This place feels like a ref. For the first time in what feels like forever, you feel safe. You know this is the statue's gift. You know the feeling will not last. You feel the statue smile. You feel it embrace you. You fall into the most comfortable dark. The hooded man exudes a restrained menace that near matches your own. As he raises his head, the hood falls back, revealing...
Be not frightened of me, delicate fleshed one. There's far worse than my bite in this quagmire. Perhaps I can even offer some aid, if you've the coin. Do you desire trinkets from the ancients? For the smallest of costs, I'll tell you. Barely a trifle.
With a horrific rasp of bone scraping against bone, he...
Call me Zalaskar. Naught else concerning me is yours to ask. My business is my own, and none of it. I only stock the best baubles, the choicest precious wares, are they not?
The hooded man
Ah, though I see you hiding behind a mask. You ashamed of who you are?
He laughs. A dark and crackling sound that seems to make the ground...
Around here? You'll be lucky to last a day, regardless of your personal feelings. But maybe I can help you out. If you've the coin. Trinkets and wonders I have here in my pack. The smallest of costs, I'll tell you. Barely a trifle.
Zalaskar chuckles unpleasantly.
For those with a strong enough will, there is always a way. You look like one to know already. The source in you. I can smell it, I can feel it clinging to every dusty bone of your cadaver. There's ones like you close by. The Seekers. I came here with them, but Magisters sank their ship. Sorcerers, like yourself, seek them out and you might find what it is that they seek. The ones that live still? Cowering in some shrine in the depths of the swamp, twiddling their bleeding thumbs. If you're lucky, maybe you'll find them before something else finds you.
He spits something dark and viscous onto the earth. You notice the little horror wriggling deep into the soil.
If the little Seekers manage to steal the Magister's ship, the Lady Vengeance, maybe I'll find a way on board. Worry not about me. I have my methods. Worry, I only stock the precious wares, are they not?
The hooded man exudes a...
Be not frightened. Perhaps I can even offer some aid. Ah, I only stock precious wares, are they not?
divine and destroy the entire elf. Not a chance. No way, no how. Sure, he wanted to defeat the Black Ring, but he wouldn't have wiped out all that land.
Looking stronger, aren't they? More durable than the last group Danny sent. Let's see how they react. Hopefully the hammer is onto something.
You're not trying to escape, are you?
The creature tries to speak at the sight of you. One of the stitches... The creature seems anxious.
Boring.
sea voyage. Children and adults huddled together for warmth and comfort. You were a slave to the ancient empire not so long ago. Early memories are overshadowed by a terrifying death, a tempest of teeth. A deluge of happiness. You played the flute. You wrote poetry. You are ever sodden, ever sandy. The smell of guts and sea waste cling to you like a ghost. You sought freedom, the life of a seaman. You were a tough dwarven smith of great experience and talent. You wanted to make a name for yourself. You are nothing. You are no one. You do not exist. Not really. There are many years twinkle behind you like distant stars, tiny but beautiful. You hated your work for the Order. You wanted to be a stonemason, marry the baker. You still dream about it every night. A single name throbs across your brain. Verdas, Verdas, Verdas! He must escape! You cover your face with your hands. You've just heard the news. The elven homelands have been destroyed by death fog.
I wasn't prepared for that. What now?
Look at you, all enthusiastic.
I'm not picking that up. If I could try moving. Dead Magisters. I wonder who did this.
Master! Master, wake up! Master, wake up! Bones! Attack Bones! Then Sorcerer! Flash! She ran! Bones gone! Master, see might!
The dog is blinded by its muzzle, but it turns its face toward you, waiting for your answer. As she considers your statement, her nostrils start to twitch. She lifts...
Sorcerer! You! Master! Master! Wake up! Never ever, never ever! No! Go!
Can you feel it? It is carrion and aromatic herbs, carried on the wind as one. Surely you sense it.
My lord, I beg you, make me whole.
You understand then? Ashes and bone litter the island, but where death comes, life rises. The sweetest scents flourish in the deepest tombs. Tell me, do you like roses? Apathy, a more dangerous attitude than pure malice. I fear my musings have taken up too much of your time already. I bid you farewell. I am not convinced, but I can tell you this. Move southeast and delve downward. There, find the blackest of roses. What happens then, I leave to you. Take a moment. Listen.
Come on, damn it, come on.
As you approach the woman, Thane gasps. You turn and see that he...
It's her! The wrinkled human that stole my mask! Please, I must speak with her.
The woman traces glyphs in the air, and you cringe, expecting a barrage of ice and fire.
My lord, I've loved you. I've obeyed you. What's my sin? How long must I suffer?
She sees Thane approach and punches her fist in his direction. Her face flushes red. It's her, the one that destroyed the ship to Fort Joy. Her eyes flare with recognition. She demands to know who Thane is, what he is. No one should be able to craft... Thane dances around her question and reverses it. Who is she? Who is this lord of hers? She does not seem eager to answer him either. The witch opens her mouth to speak, but something happens. Her face droops and her eyes turn black.
Thane, the traitor, shall be destroyed.
Her eyes clear, and she turns her head to the heavens once more.
I offer this sacrifice to you. Return me to your side, you.
You're not trying to escape, are you?
monsters aren't the only ones looking for me, but who is it? And why?
I must say, I was hoping to enjoy a smug advantage over everyone. Lacking skin may make me a target for mortals, but I am mercifully immune to mosquitoes. However, they are infuriating when they get in one's skull. I can barely hear myself think. Well, of course it is. It was crafted with care. 100% ethically harvested from mortals, too. The quality is second to none. Oh, you simply wait until the creature is dead, preferably of natural causes. Although that does limit your choices somewhat. You may end up with quite a few sagging faces. I will never understand why you have so readily accepted aging, or digestion. They are frightful pastimes. Up to a point, certainly. They are frightfully loud, but the selection afterwards is quite good. The faces are often what you might call fixer-uppers, but they're young and quite serviceable, if you get them before the flies do. Poison is preferred, of course. No marks to the face, the subject can be of any age, and death is often quite peaceful. Not for them, of course, but it's significantly more relaxing for me. I fell victim to the enemy of all great minds. Fear of the unknown, fear of change. These are the things that poison civilizations. I was on the cusp of a glorious breakthrough, but my king's fear held me back. I discovered a veil hanging across the universe, a barrier of pure source. It was amazing, the kind of discovery on which a civilization turns. Who knows what secrets may have been hidden behind that curtain? But my king forbade me from further investigation. Do you know, I never thought to ask, between him purging me and casting me into a traitor's tomb. What a foolish oversight! If only I'd had your prescience and curiosity, I could have saved myself centuries of pondering that very question. Well, certainly he was not pleased with my insistence that we investigate. But the king's word is law. Was law. But the reason I was purged was slightly less intellectual. After the king refused to let me investigate the veil, I brought the issue up with others. The 7 lords. Beneath the king in authority, but far above me. I brought them my research. I showed them everything. I had hoped they would help me convince the king of his error. But before they or I could act, I was arrested and... well, my sentence was carried out. I mean, yes, I suppose you could have drained the power from it, but that would have weakened it significantly. It would be quite irresponsible. After all, the power of the thing is not the point. It hid something. Who knows what that might have been? The secrets to the universe could have lain behind that curtain. But I was not given the chance to find out. Now, I fear I never will. He ceased to be my king the moment he turned on me. I did nothing wrong. All I wanted was to further the knowledge of the Eternals. Who knows? Had I been allowed to continue my studies, perhaps I could have warded off whatever catastrophe befell them.
The skeleton stands quietly for a moment.
I'm not sure. Centuries in a tomb can warp one's memory. I remember the big things, of course. My library, my home, my king, my family. But the rest, it's all covered in a fog. And the more I see of this world, the thicker that fog seems to get. Once I would have boasted that it was the best form of government. Indeed, it was the only form of government we knew. Living forever under the rule of a wise king is one thing. But if that king should turn into a despot, if he should reject philosophy and the natural arts for the sake of power, well, I cannot imagine a worse torture. I was a scholar, researching the secrets of the universe. Had I been allowed to proceed, my people could have ascended to godhood as one. An entire race of deities, with a perfect understanding of the universe. It would have solved all of our problems. Indeed, you cannot. Nothing in this world compares to it. We crafted our homes from stone and crystal, using the power of the universe itself to keep them in place. Your people, on the other hand, seem quite content to sit about in smoking hovels, held together by straw and filth. It's a mercy I don't have a nose. I cannot imagine how you stand it. They came rather low in my life, alas. My wife and daughter always had to compete with my work for my attention, and my work was always stiff competition. They were often neglected. I wonder how many more years they spent well, before whatever happened, happened. My false faces. Not as fair as my true visage, but better than being seen as a monster.
Something has changed. You are you, but more. You look to your hands, your belly, your feet. Flesh you don't know, molded into unfamiliar shape. Your fingers trace a line from your head to your face, feeling not the creases of the mask, but the... You thought hard on the location of your fortune before passing. You wanted an elf to find it. You urge whoever tastes your flesh to go and enjoy what you cannot. You are floating a few inches above the ground. Your friends are impressed. You bask in their hoots and hollers.
I've spotted something.
We leave corpses to warn you away, but still you intrude on our rest. Was I ever so stupid when I wore flesh? No matter, our master was clear. None shall pass. Oh, sweet thing. If you think I'll spill the tale just because you asked, pretty, you'll be disappointed.
She reaches for her weapon.
Is that so? Well, why don't you give it over? Might be you'll walk out of this swamp after all. Oh, aye. And you'll say I've no choice but to bring you to him, safe as an...
She pulls her weapon from its sheath in a quick, fluid motion.
If it helps, your death is one step closer to our freedom. No matter, our master was clear. None. Oh, sweet thing.
She reaches for her weapon.
Is that so? Well, why don't you give it over? Might be you'll walk out of this swamp after all.
The skeleton's jaw clicks.
Children playing with toys. Brachus used those weapons 1,000 years ago and did not understand their power. These red brats are no different. But our master does not care for the Magister lambs. It's you, Godwoken, that are the wolves, and it's time to put you down. No matter, our master was clear. None shall pass. Oh, sweet thing.
She reaches for her weapon.
Slave? I were a slave to Brachus when he tore my flesh apart with his gadgets, then cursed me to guard this mire. Now, I promise you, there ain't nothing you can...
You're not trying to escape, are you?
agonies of an era and beyond.
That, of course, was so many years ago now. I can hardly remember the smell of his skin anymore. Oh, but I've told you about that many times before, haven't I? Silly me. You aren't tired of my stories, are you? Can you even hear me in there?
The creature absently picks at the creature doesn't acknowledge your question.
Oh, but I've told you about that many times before, haven't I? Silly me. You aren't tired of my stories.
This won't be of any use.
You aren't tired of my stories, are you?
As the Magister turns to face you, you feel Fane stepping up behind you.
Have you seen these contraptions? This must be the Magister freak the blacksmith was referring to. He may have the very tool I need to craft my mask.
Fane cheerfully explains that he needs something to rip off a person's face, even demonstrating the idea by reaching over and tugging on rather than reacting with horror. The Magister seems excited. Very excited. He explains that he might have just the thing. Unfortunately, the Magister does not seem willing to part with it, no matter what Fane offers.
Who are you? Who are you, you pretty little salamander?
He runs a finger down your neck.
Ah, so supple. I do love the feel of lizard skin. So cool. Please, come in. Oh, do make yourself at home, won't you? Tut tut, I won't hear anything to the contrary, and there's nowhere for you to go, love. Please stay with me in my playground. You're not listening, darling. Perhaps we should start with making a little more space. Come, darlings. Time to die for Papa.
You're not trying to escape, are you?
Exquisite. The perfect tool to rip a face from a corpse. I think I shall call it the Face Ripper. Now to harvest a few samples, gather some source orbs, and craft a new mask.
Are you watching this? Madness. What must you think of your divine order now?